Hey Amazon sellers, get the latest on what's happening on Amazon here every single Friday. I'm Jenna Lieber with Turnkey Product Management, the Amazon experts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Hey guys, so excited to be here with you guys today. What I've done is I've gone through just really everything we've talked about with what's new on Amazon. Just all those different strategies that really came into play towards the end of 2019. And of course, they will be, obviously strategies are incredibly important going into 2020. So, to start us off, one really big factor that we think will be huge when it comes to being successful in 2020 is the brand dashboard. Quite honestly, even just within the last month or so, the brand dashboard really has gotten quite the facelift with tons and tons just of different tools and different opportunities for you as a seller. One thing it's really showing is that Amazon is very much aware of just how important it is to grow a brand, right? So, there are quite a few sellers that we work with that are like, is it really that important to grow a brand? And one thing you are seeing right now is Amazon is obviously showing, hey, it is important to grow a brand. It is important to have that trademark, have that brand recognition, right? So you can see how Amazon is taking that seriously. They also introduced new policies that will really make it challenging for those of you that are not brand registered, right? So right now, one thing we are seeing is the brand dashboard is going to be huge in 2020. And in addition to that, being brand registered and as a whole is going to be crucial, right? So for those of you that are not brand registered yet, right? For those of you that, for whatever reason, just haven't gotten around to it, that's perfectly okay. So one thing that is available for you to use is Amazon's Intellectual Property Accelerator program, right? So I know we have talked about this a little bit in the past, but for those of you that don't recall, it's essentially Amazon has gone out and they have brought in different intellectual property lawyers that are there to help you specifically for those of you that are looking to get your trademarks, intellectual properties in order, right? And what's really great about that actually is if you use that program, Amazon is saying that if you use this accelerator program, you guys are actually going to be able to access brand registry a little bit more before you actually get the trademark, which is awesome, right? So if you are currently in a situation where you want to get a trademark, not really sure where to start, you can go ahead and start with that Amazon's intellectual property program. Going away from that though, I do want to go ahead and focus in on the brand dashboard, just different tools that are available there. And one that was just featured in our What's New on Amazon this past Wednesday was the search term optimization tool. So not sure if you guys have gotten a chance to check this out, but it's an amazing tool. So essentially what you're able to use this for is you're able to basically see if your search terms in the back end of your listing are present anywhere else in your listing. So basically what Amazon is going to be able to do is they're going to tell you, hey, this keyword's already in your title or it's in your bullet points or your product description or whatever. So basically what Amazon's telling you is you don't need to have this search term in the back because you already have it in your front end, right? So basically what you can use that for is really to optimize those back-end search terms, make sure you're putting in new search terms there. And as you delete search terms that are present on your front end, you should be replacing them with new keywords that are not present in your front end of your listing, right? So that's one really exciting tool that we're liking. We're also liking the product optimization tool, right? So for those of you that have not gotten to check that out, that's for brand new listings on there that are less than 60 days old, where basically it's going to populate this checklist where you'll be able to go ahead and mark off different things that you need to work on in order to be successful on Amazon. So it walks you through price competitiveness, your in-stock rate, what does that look like? If you're Prime eligible, they'll give you the tools to be Prime eligible if you're not. Detail page completion, they'll let you know, hey, you're not complete here, here's why, pointing out those different factors. They'll talk about the customer reviews, different programs that are at your disposal within Amazon. They'll talk about A+ content and sponsored ads, right? So obviously there's a ton on the brand dashboard that has to do with reviews, different things like that. Your overall health as a whole, as a brand. So one thing for sure is if you want to dominate in 2020, you have to be in your brand dashboard. That is really one thing that we are excited about heading into 2020 is just having access to that brand dashboard, making sure you're taking advantage of being a brand registered seller. And if you're not brand registered, that's okay. You've got time. go ahead and get in touch with that accelerator program to work into intellectual properties. So, in addition to that, right, leaving 2019, we had quite the, I guess you can say mix up, or not mix up, a little bit of a change, right? When it came to reviews, specifically autoresponders, right? So in 2019, towards the end there, I think it was at the start of December, around there, Amazon did incorporate new rules when it comes to your autoresponders. So if you guys have not heard about this update, I highly recommend that you guys take action as quickly as possible on the new communication guidelines. And what I'll actually do is I'll attach the communication guidelines here in this Facebook status so you guys can check it out. But for those of you that haven't heard, within autoresponders, you cannot include any links, either external or on Amazon links. The on Amazon links part is the new part. Obviously, you could never have attached external links in your autoresponders previously. So if you guys were doing that, highly recommend you stop doing that, because you can get yourself suspended from sending autoresponder messages. So in addition to that, you can't have any marketing messages or promotions located in your autoresponders anymore, unfortunately. No logos can be in your actual autoresponders if they include a link to an external website or anything like that. You can no longer do that. Promotions just for additional products, the same thing, just no promotional language in there. You cannot specifically ask for a positive review. So you can say, hey, can you please leave me a review? But you can't say, hey, can you please leave me a 5-star review? So you cannot do that. Amazon does see that as review manipulation. So that is something to keep in mind with your language, right? In addition to that, you cannot ask for the same review repeatedly. So for those of you that are not a part of our review accelerator, basically what we do here at Turnkey is we take care of customer service, reach out to them to say, hey, how's everything going? Please let us know if you have any questions. Second email is a feedback ask, where we'll ask for seller feedback. That is different than a review ask. So those would be 2 separate asks. And then we ask for the review. So that way you're only asking for the review twice, but you kind of have that barrier in there to keep you safe, hopefully, from bad reviews, right, is the idea. And then in addition to that, you cannot send an attachment multiple times. You can only send it if it is necessary to complete the order. So if you are giving a value add, an ebook, something like that, an FAQ sheet, really crucial that you only do that one time. Do not send it multiple times. Don't say, hey, like, just in case you didn't get it or anything like that. Amazon is no longer okay with that. In addition to that, just kind of going off of the PDFs and everything, they're pretty common right now, right, to send out to customers, which is awesome. That really adds value to the purchase. But that also cannot have the links. It can't have the promotions. It can't have those things. Amazon does have a scraping tool that they do use to scrape those attachments there. So it is important that those PDFs are following the exact same rules that you are following for your actual autoresponder content. And then, also just covering the reviews. They also unveiled a request a review button, which is located in every single order on the actual, in your actual order details, which is great. So this is just another layer that you can go through and request a review from that customer. You can only do it one time. It has to be within the 30 days of purchase is something to consider. So you can't do it from 2 years ago or anything like that. It's got to be within the last 30 days. But you can essentially go into your order details and request a review from that customer, giving you that extra layer. And then, one thing to also consider, right? Obviously, autoresponders are still valid right now. It's going to be interesting in 2020 just to see what Amazon does. But it really does seem like Amazon is trying to kind of phase out those autoresponders in some different ways here. So request a review will be important down the line, because that's an additional layer that gets to people that did opt out of those autoresponders and things like that. So it is something to consider, something to keep in mind for sure as we walk into 2020 here. Now, one thing our team thinks is going to be huge, which we think will be a game changer, not just for our clients, not just for our coaching clients, but for all of you out there that are selling on Amazon, is going to be split testing, right? And the reason why, especially just with a new year, it's really a great way to start off fresh and make sure your Amazon listing is never on autopilot. It's always improving, right? So one software that our team uses is we use Splitly. We use Splitly to A/B test just different components like the title, the bullet points, product description, images, things like that. We will use it to basically see how can we improve our copy in general, how can we improve our messaging, how can we improve our keyword indexing, different aspects like that, right? So that's one really big thing that we do a lot of, and we honestly think it's going to be huge for you guys. So again, we use Splitly to create those tests. If you're not interested in the software, you would prefer to do it manually, that's okay as well. All you have to do is really track your conversion rates, really pay attention, making sure obviously there's no skewed room in there, whether that's like a 3-day weekend or something like that. You want to avoid things like that. So if you're doing it manually, obviously do it smart. Make sure you're not skewing the data in any way, just on different aspects that might be going on between the two variants. So Splitly is a great software, but in addition to that, Amazon has updated A+ content with A+ experiments. So essentially what you're going to be able to do now is you're going to be able to split test your different A+ contents within Seller Central, which is awesome. So essentially what you'll have to do is you're going to submit 2 different A+ contents, formerly known as enhanced brand content. You'll submit those 2 separate ones, and Amazon is going to have to improve them, right? So that's step 1, Amazon approving both of your variants. Now, then what Amazon's going to do, once you do that, you'll start to run your experiment. And when you run your experiment, essentially what Amazon will do is it's going to show half of your customers one variant and show the other half the other variant, right? That's what it's going to look at. So it's a little bit different than Splitly, right? So for those of you that do know a little bit about Splitly, for those of you that don't, Splitly will interchange your copy, right? So it's going to change the title every once in a while based on the number of users, number of shoppers, everything like that. This is different because Amazon is essentially running the test at the same time, but half of your customers are seeing one and half are seeing the other. So it is run a little bit differently. They do usually take some time though. It will probably be about a little over a month. And what's really great though is after 1 week of running the test, you will start to see results. You are going to start to see that data rolling in, which is really, really exciting. Now, what are some things you can be testing with A+ content, right? That's a pretty common question we're getting right now. So a few things you can be testing is, is it better to have an A+ content without text, or is it better to have an A+ content with text? So let me cover that really quickly just before I move on. The reason why that's kind of a big debate right now is because at the end of the day, your A+ content is involved with indexing, with getting your keywords obviously acknowledged by Amazon. So at the end of the day, all image A+ content, it looks nice and clean. There's no question about that. But that means you are only able to use the keyword space in that listing behind the images, right? So you're missing out on text that's going to be visible in the front end. So essentially what you're seeing right now, or I guess what you have to consider when you are looking at this is it better to have that nice clean version and lose out on some keyword space? Or do I want to use that keyword space? Do I have enough keywords that it makes sense to put text in my A+ content? So that's one really big debate, and that's something our team right now is internally testing, really to see just which one is better, which one is the better avenue to go down. So another thing you obviously can be testing is just different modules, different, excuse me, just different things that you can be bringing up on your actual A+ content, whether that's a brand story, whether that's, just a special infographic, things like that. You can really change up the modules, really see how that goes. In addition to that, you can change up the layout, the design, right? So, one thing we always tell people is always think of your A+ content, your formerly known as enhanced brand content, as your website. Think of this as a way to express yourself on your Amazon listing. That is crucial, right? So this is a great way to be able to test out those layouts, test out to see, okay, maybe I like, having this first or this second or something like that. You're able to kind of test out those layouts and see which one converts the best, which is great. Obviously you can just test out different images, right? So just like I said, infographics, lifestyle images, you can see, does one help more than the other if you're in between just different images. And in addition to that, just new content, right? So maybe you've had the same A+ content for a really long time and it's worked really well for you, but you want to incorporate some new content, whether that's new infographic or maybe it's new information about the product that might provide more insight into it. So there's a few things at play there and different things you can test out. And lastly, just trying to cross-sell different products. So one module that's our favorite here personally at Turnkey is we love that cross-selling module. We feel like it is super beneficial to customers to be able to find new products, new information just about your brand, right? Which is great. So we love the cross-selling module, but essentially what you can do with that is obviously you can test adding it in, right? If you don't currently have the cross-selling module, you can test adding it into your listing or on your A+ content. But in addition to that, you can test out adding different products into that cross-selling module. So maybe you have a really large catalog, right? Maybe you've got tons and tons of products, and I mean, that cross-selling module cannot hold all of those products, right? So maybe it's testing out just a different batch of those products, whether it's this certain few right here or this certain few. You can test out which ones are doing the best on that listing, right? Because at the end of the day, all products are going to correspond differently with one another. So testing those out will be really big. Now, moving away from split testing, moving away from A+ content, one really last big piece our team thinks will really be huge just walking into 2020 is promotions, right? So, my advice always is see what's worked for you in the past, right? Download that promotional report. Look at your coupon clipping data, your promo code data. What is working for you the best? Is it dollar off? Is it percentage off? Is it running it for a month and then turning it off for another month? Or is it having a continuous coupon clipping running? What is the answer, right? It's really important you're taking the time to look at that. I think January is a great time to do that because you just went through December and November where you were running those promotions, you were running and testing out those different things. This is the time to look into that because you're essentially going to have really great data to see, okay, I have my most customers during this time. Now, what did they use? What were they interested in? What made them convert? That's what you should be looking at, right? So, truthfully, we think promotions are going to be huge. At the end of the day, guys, there's so many sellers coming onto Amazon every single day that it's important that you're doing that extra oomph to really make you stand out against all the other competitors, right? So, in addition to that, in addition to seeing what's worked for you, it is important that you are incorporating new promotions into just your promotional calendar, right? So if you are not using a promotional calendar, please email us. Go to our contact us section in Amazon or on our website. We'll be more than happy to share with you our promotional calendar. That's not a big thing at all. Just ask us for it. We'll send it to you. And essentially what you can do is you can plan out your promotions there, right? So, in addition to that, it's really important to not fall into kind of a rut. You don't want to fall into doing the exact same thing over and over again every single month because Amazon's always adapting, they're always developing, so you need to move with it. So here are a few, just promotions that were new to 2019 that we really think you need to take into 2020 to make that difference on your Amazon listing. So one really big one that we're really liking is outlet deals. So outlet deals is meant for excess inventory that's currently being stored in FBA warehouses. So you must be Prime eligible in order to do this, right? In addition to that, you cannot have a product that is a part of the Subscribe and Save program, cannot be a part of that. And that product that you are enrolling in the outlet deal cannot have had an outlet deal in the last 90 days, right? So few things to consider there. But what's really great about the outlet deals is obviously this is helping you with excess inventory. But in addition to that, it's featuring you in other sections. It's not just on your listing. You're going to have this outlet deal running. You're also going to be featured on the outlet deals page, which is just that extra visibility, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what promotions are all about. And that's why they're super crucial to run on Amazon, because when you introduce yourself to these other, promotional opportunities, you're putting yourself in different places on Amazon. And that is the key to success, especially to start the new year out really strong, right? So another one that's really great is Prime exclusive discounts. Prime exclusive discounts is awesome for visibility reasons, for customers to be able to see live that is on sale, right? So what this essentially is it's a strike through pricing that will actually be on your listing, where it will show, hey, here's the Prime price. So this is only for Prime members, but Prime exclusive discounts honestly are going to be a huge hit. They're Prime exclusive. Amazon's going to be pushing people to sign up for a Prime membership in order to take advantage of these. So we really see Prime exclusive discounts really, taking off in 2020, just because it is part of Amazon's mission to get more people as Prime members, right? So going away from that, obviously Lightning Deals got a little bit of an upgrade at the end of 2019 with 7-day deals. So 7-day deals is something that was a huge part of our holiday planning that we did with our clients. And it was awesome. It was such a big success. And I highly recommend you take advantage of this as well. So 7-day deals, exact same thing as lightning deals. They're going to be featured on the actual deals page on Amazon, but it's going to be for a longer time, right? It's not going to be during that short window in the middle of the day. It's going to be a whole week of you featured on this page. So it's awesome. It's such a great experiment to run to see if it works for you. Now, one thing's for sure, like just because lightning deals didn't work doesn't mean 7-day deals won't. I want you guys to go ahead and take a chance on it, try it out, experiment with it, see if it is the right thing to do. Because at the end of the day, that's what these promotions are about, is getting that visibility. And that's what gets you on the deals page, get that 7-day deal, right? And in addition to that, this is not a promotion, but rather just another opportunity, is FBA Global Export. So if you are currently not enrolled in this, I highly recommend you do. But what you can essentially do is enroll yourself in the FBA Global Export program, where Amazon will basically let international customers shop on Amazon US, purchase your product, and ship it to their country. We get a lot of you guys asking, I want to sell international, but there's so much to that, right? You obviously have to go through Amazon, but in addition to that, every single country, just like the US, has certain rules when it comes to selling to that country, right? So it is important in the sense that, it is really challenging to sell in international marketplaces on Amazon. This gives you an in, and also gives you data just on what is working for you. So this is just a really great idea in the sense that it gets you in front of new customers, obviously, very similar to a promotion. So that's one thing our team is really loving, is the FBA Global Export. Now, obviously, talking a lot, I'm really sorry. But, as far as 2020, what's going to kill it, what's going to crush it, I really think those are a great starting point. But I also really believe that a lot of it comes from just planning ahead. Plan ahead with your inventory, with your promotions, plan ahead with launching new products. That's really the answer, I think, to being successful all year round, is just planning ahead, making sure you're always just thinking of new ways to get outside the box. That's another thing, right? Do not just stay put with Amazon, right? Amazon is not meant to be left on autopilot. It's not meant to, not be optimized or anything like that. Amazon is always changing, and with that, your listing should be changing as well. Now, that's all I have. I'm really excited. It's finally the new year, guys. I can't wait to work with all of you. If you have any questions just about this video or anything else we've talked about, definitely reach out to us. You shoot us a Facebook message, go to our contact us section on our website. We're more than happy to chat with you and hear your questions. So thank you all so much for your time, and I'll chat with you later. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Here at Turnkey, we are committed to bringing you the ultimate best. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe by hitting the bell here. See you in the next video.